Welcome everybody to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here in the home studio on a Saturday night. Yes, ending out the summer, breaking into the fall, still continuing our endeavors to support the best in Texas metal, especially here in our hometown. And briefly, great pleasure to welcome a band to the show that I've really become enamored with in the past year. The band called Hounds is finally in the Rob studio. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Yeah.
Thank you for having us. Fuck yeah.
I love your metallic punk hardcore, man.
Hell
God.
Thank you.
You know, there's so many genres that our city delivers, and there haven't been many bands who deliver your style to a point that I'm like, I love it. And I love what you guys are doing. So
Appreciate it.
that's why you're here. And thanks to Stefan for sending me the record.
Yeah.
Stefan, how long have I known you, bro?
It's going on at least 15 years now, seems like. At least.
How long have you been telling me, Rob, I'm going to send you some great stuff?
Man, Rob, way too fucking long.
Dude, I'm so happy that you're here. I really am.
I'm really happy.
Because, you know, every time your name comes up, people say, man, that dude's a fucking badass drummer. And, you know, being a badass drummer is great, but you got to be part of a badass band too. Correct. And this band is kicking ass right now. So,
thanks, man. Yeah, Stefan's been a good addition to everything that we've been trying to in the last couple of years. So
yeah. Now, I want to remind you guys that people all over the country and the world watch Rob. So I don't want to take for granted, or, you know, even though we know each other, that all the people out there know everything about Hounds. So I know tonight we were kind of chatting a little bit, but for those people who don't know anything about the band, let's just give them a brief history on the formation of Hounds here in San Antonio.
Yeah, so my name's Mike. I'm vocals and currently rhythm guitar, but we're kind of doing a little lineup change. Hounds, we started way back, 2020. So 2020. We haven't been together very, very long, but we come from a good metal background, a good hardcore background, good punk rock background. So
I know you guys are veterans.
Yeah, so when the pandemic kind of hit, I was like, hey, I've got a few songs. I'm going to kind of put it out there. Let's see if we can fucking start something that, you know, that can turn into something fucking rad. So that was the whole thing. And we really, it started when everyone wasn't going to work, and I just started writing some of these jams at home, and I was like, well, fuck it. What else am I going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it comes from like literally boredom. And I was like, I've got some riffs. Let's fucking figure it out. Let's find a lead guitarist, and then we'll go from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? And I don't want to overlook the experience of each one of you guys, because I use the word veteran right now, and, you know, even though Hounds is a new band, all of you guys have kind of been in the scene. You've been in through bands, and, you know, you've developed your own expertise in your instrument and your own style. So for those people out there, let's just quickly just overview that really quick. So, Mike, let's start with you, and then we'll go through each person just real quick. You know, we don't have to get into it very deep, but, you know, you talked a little bit about, like, hey, I've been in many bands, and we were talking downstairs too.
Yeah, so like if we were to go back 25 years,
wow,
when I was just a kid, fucking getting into punk rock. Like
MacArthur High School.
Yeah, I went to MacArthur High School. Like,
yeah.
I think it was the break between middle school and high school when I really started fucking getting into punk rock. And I remember during that summer, there was a little skate park down in Von Army, and I think it was the only skate park at the time, right? And I would ride down there with this girl. I don't even remember her name, but she would throw on, like, you know, Black Flag and Circle Jerks. And
was she older than you?
Yeah, she was older than me.
Oh,
she
okay.
had a car, and I didn't have a car, right? I was still a kid. So I would ride down with her, and she would rollerblade on these ramps, and I would skate around on these ramps. But the cool part was driving down there.
She was playing Minor Threat and all that shit.
Old West Coast hardcore bands on it. And I just fell in love with punk rock, and I think that's about when I was like, you know what? Fuck baseball. fuck football. I want to skate and play music. You know what I mean?
I'm sure your parents were happy.
Yeah, they were pissed. But that was the turning point for me. It was a fun time. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's really where I started off. So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. What other bands were you in?
I was my first band. We were just punk rock band from San Antonio called the Flatliners. It was just a street punk band, not to be confused with the Canadian Flatliners, right? Because there's another band in Canada that have gotten really, really big. We won't get into that. And great dudes, great songs, right? But we were just a little young cats playing street punk. And then as time went on, I was in a few other bands called Ticket for a Train Wreck, North End Bombers. I currently play bass in another band called Diamond Denim. It's more like boogie rock and roll, power pop type shit. So it's really cool, man. Yeah, it's good to branch off, not be able to have to focus on singing just to go play bass. Like, I fucking love it. You know?
Back in the day, did you guys play the DMZ?
Yeah. That was where all the first
DMZ
Flatliner shows was DMZ.
Yeah, I used to fucking videotape shows.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Hector, come on, let's go.
Okay, well, with me, I actually started picking up the guitar because a buddy of mine now, Mark Lopez from the Furthest Orleans from Hell, he was their lead guitar player.
That's not the same Mark Lopez from Las Cruces, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
The thing about Fearless Iranians from Hell is, of course, they're from San Antonio, and I was floored to see someone from San Antonio playing the way that he did.
Yeah.
And also, a Hispanic. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Didn't they do a show recently?
No.
Oh, okay. I heard they were going to do a show.
They were going to do a comeback. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That's a different subject.
Yeah.
But yeah, so of course, I got into punk when I was 12 years old, and Fearless Iranians from Hell was one of the top ones, along with like Merciful Fate, 38 Special, Deep Purple,
Hell yeah.
all that old school, Metal Scorpions. So there's like a big conglomerate, just like a mix of like some punk and hardcore and old school rock.
Yeah.
I want to say that when I started playing guitar, it's really because of Mark, and what I bring to the table here for Shadow Hounds is, well, of course, a lot of solos.
Yeah.
But I'm not a shredder by any stretch.
Yeah.
I'm more of a syllable musician. I like to take little bits and pieces and add just relevant notes, and I take that from artists like inspirations, like Mark, and of course Richie Blackmore from Deep Purple.
Hell yeah.
You can hear like a lot of, like similar strumming patterns or picking patterns.
I like that because, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I like what you're saying because it's very factual with what I interpret when I hear like a song like a Prize. Mm-hmm. Like you're just going, you're not like, you don't have to shred. You're just like adding to the song. It's like another layer.
Yeah.
Solo layer.
Yeah, and the same thing with Sean Bannock, or Paul Bannock, as everyone knows him from Midnight, the guitar player. Mm-hmm. And before him was Joel Fisher. Those two guys actually helped me out with like just, music relevance, and we're just like the notes, because a lot of the songs, like when you hear the album, there's a lot of dynamics involved. It's not just constant droning of one single chord, chug, 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 chug. I'm not knocking other bands. I'm just saying that there's actually a lot of good variety in there, like a lot of good, like you can change songs and go, hey, like this one sounds different than the other one, and I love that about Shadow Hounds.
All right, yeah. All right, Stefan. Oh, my man, my brother Stefan. If it wasn't for Stefan,
what's up, man?
The band wouldn't be here tonight. So thank you, my man, for turning me on to Shadow Hounds.
No problem.
Out for Blood.
Yeah.
Okay, so man, you and I have known each other for a long time. So
yeah, we have.
You tell the people out there how we've known each other.
Well, those who don't know, yes, I am StefanDW, Facebook. I have been around for a little bit. I'm the black guy that used to beat up people in the pit at the White Rabbit or any local huge show that would come through and just have fun, So my background coming from playing drums, I've been playing drums since I was like 11 years old.
Wow.
So going on like 28 years. Other than that, with the bands that I've been in the local scene, I've been here, between San Antonio and Austin. I played with Die Among Heroes, one of my first bands that started here back in the day. What Is Becoming, that was like one of my first kind of just intro, just getting in the scene, just getting my feet wet, just seeing what I could do. I've always played drums, always loved music, and heavy metal. I just been this guy that just I wanted to break barriers in San Antonio. Like, I never really saw a lot of black people, and not to get racial, but I never really saw black people fucking at San Antonio shows. So I was like, fuck it, man. Let me come in here. Just, I got a lot of friends that when I went to school with that loved the music. So I was like, hey, let me try it out. I got into it. I loved it. And I was like, I played drums. So later on down the line, I started playing in some metal bands and, some rock bands. Memory of Melodies, one of them, and that was kind of like the rock and roll bands that were pretty big at the time. And then I learned from the big guys like Donnie Van Staveren, Jason West,
Wow.
Bobby Jerzombek.
Yeah.
Those guys. They were my uncles. Danny Funk. Those guys kind of raised me in the scene. And then when I really decided to make this a thing, people are like, dude, you got it. You got something. You have potential. You have something. I decided, hey, let me just kind of integrate myself into other sides of music that I've always loved. And punk metal, metal scene, hardcore was really my influence from back in the day. And I just kind of jumped into it, which is how I met these guys. I've always known Mike.
So when Mike sent you the tracks, like, hey, this is what I'm doing, you dug it right away.
Oh, I was like, shit, man. You know what? Let me go ahead and kill this shit. Let me go ahead and fucking put this on a fucking burner on a grill, and let me.
So, Mike, how did you know about him?
So I've known Stefan for years, right? We used to party way back in the day, and like we had a good crew that used to go out, hang out at the old Dixies, and then when the Dixies moved to the new Dixies over there, like Embassy area. We all fucking partied together. So I've known that Stefan has chops, right? Like, he's a good drummer. And when Shadow Hounds first started, props out to Joseph Briones, right? Like,
yeah.
He's the
Joseph.
drummer of Rumors and Violent
Practice,
which Hector is also in Violent Practice.
Yep.
When Shadow Hounds first started playing gigs, and by the way, and Rene Martinez, right? He's got a new band. So when Shadow Hounds first started, Joseph, when we started playing gigs, like regular gigs, Joseph put me aside. He said, "Hey man, I'm fucking busy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to commit. Like, you want me to commit?"
Right.
And I was like, "No, it's cool. Like, we're friends. We're getting older now. We got families and shit. Like, I get it, right?"
Right.
And then I was like, "I'm gonna message Stefan. Maybe he wants to do it." I sent him the tracks. This dude was like, "Hey, I fucking got this, right?" Like, minus any cockiness. Like, he was like, no, we can do this. We can make something happen. And I was like, I knew that moment. I was like, we're going to put out a record. We're going to try and do this. We're going to go full force. We're not getting any younger, Rob. Why would we, stop now? You know what I mean? This is kind of our last shot to say, hey, let's put something out there meaningful in the world. If we can do it, it's fucking hardcore. It's metal. It's punk rock. Let's go. Balls to the wall. You know what I mean?
Out for Blood will live in the annals of San Antonio heaviness for a long time.
Yeah, and Sean,
forever.
So Sean is actually not even from San Antonio.
No, I'm not. No. So
Sean's from Alabama and Mississippi and
all
everywhere.
All over the fucking place.
Right?
God
oh my
damn.
God. So, man, just to quickly summarize my, musical journey, it really started out growing up in Colorado. I was a senior in high school and had a lot of friends that were like, dude, I want to play guitar, blah, blah. And so I was like, you know what? Quickest way into a band was playing bass. So asked my parents, please, can I get a bass and some other stuff? And so they hooked me up. I got one of those Ibanez, quick little starter packs with the bass and the gig bag and the little VHS tape that
you were
showed
fucking happy, weren't you?
Oh man, I was so stoked just to play some music
course.
And do something. And so eventually that led me into I was in the Navy, and through that I met some really cool dudes that were had a lot of similar music tastes. and that took me to San Diego, where I had a couple really cool bands that we did when I was stationed in the Navy. But when I got out, because I was in San Diego, I started meeting a lot of cool people and friends, and expanded to playing in some other stuff. And so through that, had a couple bands that, I was like, man, I could really pay the rent, playing, doing this stuff.
Yeah.
If I worked a 9 to 5 and I said fuck music.
Yeah, it was totally, exactly. But obviously it didn't quite work out. So eventually I met a really rad lady, and she took me to Birmingham, Alabama, which I met some really cool people, did another band, and then we moved to Florida, had some kids, and then we moved here about 4.5 years ago. And, long story short, I met Hector, and Hector hooked me up with Mike. And, man, it was...
And the rest is history.
The rest was history. I was very jealous, because when I first heard about the Shadow Hounds thing, Hector was like, dude, I'm doing some leads for this, these really cool songs. I'm like, dude, these are fucking rad songs.
Yeah.
And secretly, I was like, I want to be in this band. I want to play bass. Do they need a bass player? And
He was like, yeah.
Yeah, totally. Luckily, we were able to hook it up.
See, that's cool. I think one of the things that you said there is so relevant is the fact that you dug the songs, right? And like, if you dig it, then you want to play it and perform it. So that's so important. I mean, you're not in a band like, oh, these songs are all right. Okay, I'll be in a band because I want to be in a band. No, you really dug it, and you really wanted to be in it, part of it. Yeah, that's so important. That's so important. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Sean. I appreciate that.
That means the fucking world to me when I hear shit like that.
Yeah.
Because like when I remember when Stefan and I'm sorry, not Stefan. When Hector and Sean first hooked up, I was like, dude, I think we have something going. Right?
Yeah.
We're coming out of the pandemic. No one's literally working. No one's traveling. Like no shows are happening.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna fucking start. We're gonna write a record. Let's write a fucking album.
Yeah. It's a great time to write. I want to ask you really quickly about the name Shadow Hounds. I loved in the record where like there's the motif of the hounds, like they're howling at the beginning of the record, and it's so cool in the artwork. So there's this motif of the hounds. Tell me, how did the name Shadow Hounds come about?
I would be happy to talk about that. So I'm a fucking old rocker, right? Like old punk rocker, and I really love a lot of the Swedish hardcore that comes out of obviously Sweden. Like Skid System, Wolf Brigade. There's so many good bands. All the Finnish hardcore, all that northern
Finnish hardcore.
Yeah,
it's like that's not like honestly that's not anything I know about,
dude.
If you tell me Finnish like black metal or power metal, I know bands.
Right.
But not like hardcore bands.
So when these punk bands started emerging in like the late '80s, early '90s, mid '90s, like they took a lot of that black metal element.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we're not just gonna play shitty punk rock riffs. We're gonna throw metal in there, but it's still fucking hardcore. It's still punk rock. You know what I mean? I'm a huge Wolf Brigade fan. So when I thought about where can I get this name from, and then when Wolf Brigade came out with their record "Run with the Hunted" in 2018, there's a line in there on the chorus, and it's like a shadow hound underground, and I was like, we're the Shadow Hounds. Yeah. We're fucking Shadow Hounds, right? And I didn't even know
that was it.
That was it. It wasn't anything special. I was just like, that's
wow.
when I'm gonna start the band. Yeah, was what we're gonna do.
Wow. And I think that's a cool name.
Thanks, man.
And we talked about trademarking that name too.
Cut that out.
Yeah, we want to trademark any name. Seriously. So
with Wolf Brigade, so I mean, aren't they? They're associated with like kind of the gutter punk kind of scene.
Yeah,
with, like, he is gone and like tragedy and like some
a lot of
stuff
that
like
DB.
Yeah,
like
DB,
raw
DB
hardcore
kind of
is.
scene.
Oh,
I think it gets mixed. I think a lot of it gets mixed up with like when like some of the newcomers come up, they hear hardcore, and I'm like, okay, like It's not to be like, I was saying like hardcore. What do you mean like hardcore? Like old hardcore, like Bad Brains. Like when I think hardcore, I think like Minor Threat. I think old hardcore. You know what I mean? Like Bad Brains and shit like that. When I think of like Swedish and Finnish hardcore, like that's all that black metal shit. It's fucking badass. And
it's a little bit more straightforward too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More of like a Motorhead type
Yeah.
A lot of Motorhead influence.
Yeah.
More rock and roll kind of riffs, kind of.
Yeah. So let's move on to talk about why we're really here.
All right.
Yeah. And we're really here to talk about the band's new record that dropped in June, the beginning of June. The record called Out for Blood.
Go get that.
Oh my goodness.
Go get that motherfucker. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah. So all you people out there, go ahead and take a good look at the artwork right now. It is out on all music media outlets.
Yeah.
Be sure to download it right after you watch this interview.
Hell yeah.
So Out for Blood came out on June the 9th via Grimace Records. 10 tracks, including with the intro, which I love the intro. I mentioned the intro just now about the howling wolves. Kind of sets the vibe for the record. Great record, guys. I love this record, and that's the reason you're here tonight. And I'm just glad that I really had a chance to hear it right away because Stefan said, Rob, you got to check out my band's record. And I'm like, we'll send it over, bro. And, I get inundated with stuff every once in a while. And when I finally really kind of heard this record, I was like, whoa. There's not a lot of bands who are doing like this metallic hardcore stuff. And at least not bands that are doing it well. And I loved the songs on this record. I loved how concise they are. And the production on it was well done. And I was like, yeah, this is great. I loved, like I told you earlier, the motif of the wolves howling and stuff. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the song Respite. But I also love the melodic instrumental of Respite.
Hell yeah.
In the middle. And I'm like, man, these dudes are not, they're not, even though they're doing what they love, they are far more than a one-dimensional band. They can be.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Out for Blood. Is this the first band? Is this the first official release by the band?
Yeah. So well, sort of. So when Hector and I first came up with the name, we released just independently through like DistroKid, right? Like it was one of those fucking things. You pay for a distribution, and we had one song, Die by the Sword. It's on the record. I'm sorry, it's not on the record.
No.
However, that was our first release. When Out for Blood came out, we wanted to make sure that what we're putting out is like the direction we're going. It was.
So
really,
was that first song a little different?
Yeah, it's punk rock. It's fast punk rock. It's not as metal as the direction like we're kind of going, but like it still has those elements. When you hear like Hector's leads and Sean's bass, like it's there. You can feel it. You can hear it. You know what I mean? Out for Blood, when that came out, I mean, we literally decided, okay, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna go pay a studio a shitload of money, and then I started thinking, I'm going to sit back and try to figure out how I can build my own studio, and it's basically what I did. So I was like, I'm gonna.
So this is like your first audio recorded effort.
Yes, we did this.
Wow, that's a pretty big accomplishment for your first effort.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds great.
I didn't know how to do it. It was a learning curve, and with the patience and like grace of these dudes who were hey man, like, what are we doing? Like, how are we gonna fucking record this? Like, let me know, give me a schedule. And I was like, just give me a second. I'm trying to figure it out. So it was literally a lot of trial and error. I built a little studio at my house.
You had to get the software and all that stuff.
I just bought all the software, and thanks to my fiance, she was like, hey, Nicole, she was like, she was all about it. She was cool about it. And I was like, well, fuck yeah, here we go. Like, we're going to do this, you know what I
Did
mean?
nothing better than the support of your old lady.
Absolutely.
How can you do it your passion
So amazing.
if you don't have your old lady supporting you?
Yeah. She's been a fucking godsend. She lets us jam and fucking and record and practice. Like, it's cool. Yeah.
Fucking marry her, bro.
But seriously, no, like really big props.
I'm gonna
to Mike
edit that out.
because Mike spent so much time, you know, editing and working on the record. Like, man,
Dialing it
so
in.
many hours.
God damn,
Dialing it in.
Sean.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. It's one of
All
those
right, all
things that took me aback. Man, this guy's so dedicated.
I'm not gonna talk about the bike crash either.
That's getting edited. Fuck that.
You're like, Rob, you're getting out of control, roast. How many vodkas have you had? That's what happens, bro. When I drink too much vodka, I get crazy.
Listen, it's Modelo
I'm
time.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, it's cool.
Guys, so I was very happy to get the record. Thanks, Stefan. The record officially dropped, as all of you guys saw, on June the 9th. So it hasn't really even been that long.
No.
What's the reception been like?
So far, the feedback's actually been pretty good. Like, the streams have fucking been amazing, right?
Yeah.
They go up and they come down. You see all that shit. I think we made maybe $3.
We had 300,000 fucking
But
streams.
dude, it's been really, really cool. And
Yeah.
as far as like the production of the record, when we recorded it together. We had a fucking strategy. We planned it out, right? And then when we were doing like the gang backup vocals, we invited a bunch of friends over. So shout out to like John Hale, Grimace Records, Bobby Ridenhour, fucking DJ Pennington, Zach Trevethan, Boogie Dan from Diamond Denim. Like all these dudes came out and they literally fucking came out and helped us do that record. Like it like finalize that vocals. Yeah.
How did the deal with Grimace happen?
So I've known John for years, right? So John is an old school rocker from Houston, and he used to play in bands like old punk bands called Los Gritos and some other bands. He's now in another. He's when he started Grimace, he also opened the End and the Compound, which is like these huge venues right now in Houston, and they're putting on some fucking rad shows. A lot of metal bands are coming through. A lot of hardcore bands are coming through.
What's his name again?
His name's John Hale. He's a rad
John
dude.
Hale.
John Hale. Hale. Yeah, good guy. Really good guy.
All right.
So props to him for like, when I send him a first like few scratch tracks, he goes, we'll put it out. Like, we want to do this.
Yeah.
So shout out to him and all the
Grimace
family.
Records from Houston.
Yeah, from Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. I think you're remiss not to say that, but from Houston. That's great, man. It's we need people like John Hill to continue to support local fucking music, man. And they put their fucking money where their mouth's at, and let's fucking help support these bands.
Yeah.
So that's great. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but on the 9th, didn't you guys have a release party too?
We did. We had a show at Snake Hill.
I don't even when I read that, I was like, I've never even heard of that place. It was, where is it at?
It's over there, like Fort Sam, like
It's on Grayson,
like
New Braunfels.
yeah,
Grayson.
Yeah.
Grayson Street, like right across the street from the quadrangle.
And so they throw these like
If someone said to me, Rob, let's go hang out at Grayson Street, I'm like, hold on, let me go get my fucking cuete.
yeah.
Cause I don't know, that sounds scary.
Hey, we packed that place out, and every band that showed up that night.
Really?
Let me get it.
No,
Every
fine.
band that showed up that night was really fucking badass. And you guys kicked fucking ass.
It was awesome.
Thank you for everybody that showed up to that show, man. Our CD release was
It was
amazing.
huge. It was
I would have
packed.
loved to have been there, guys.
Yeah, so the bands that opened up, it was
on the same night that it released digitally.
yeah, so it was,
June the 9th.
Yeah, so it was on a Friday. It was Burnout, Shirley Temple, Nyx from Austin. They're another fucking thrashcore band. Really, really good guys. Speaking of which, the drummer was also in the same band with John Hay.
Yeah.
Way back in the day. So yeah, it was really good to play with all those fucking dudes.
Cool, man. Guys, thank you so much for continuing this interesting chat despite all our little hiccups.
Yeah, it's all good.
All our metal hiccups. I love them.
So we're partying. That's
Yeah,
what we're
oh
doing.
my God. Oh, having a great time. You know, when people ask me, like, how was it with Shadow? I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best at 23.
It wasn't somebody passing out in the yard, but it was still fucking
Exactly. Nobody got punched in the face tonight. You know, and we got plenty of brews flowing. And
Fuck yeah.
great conversation behind the scenes. Thank you guys so much.
Hey,
These
thanks.
are, you know, these are the kind of nights that I relish, especially at this time in my career. You know, I'm near the end, bros.
No, fuck no.
I'm near the end. I'm near the end.
You can do this shit forever, Rob.
Come on.
I've been looking at you, and I definitely myself, and I'm sorry I'm like standing up and getting all crazy, but like, hey, like if y'all don't know, Rob's been doing this for fucking eons, but it's just badass that like he is still fucking kicking and thriving, and it seems like you get better and better and better and better, dude. Thank you very much.
Like
man.
fine wine.
Yeah.
And by the way, Rob has looked the same for like 20 years. Hasn't fucking changed.
I got my secrets, baby. I'll tell you off camera, Stefan. But I got my secrets. No, thank you so much, man. You know, it is hard to let go. Whenever I tell my friends, like my close friends, I say, I think I'm gonna retire. They say, like, no, you're not.
Nah, you're
Shut
not done.
up. No,
Fuck
you're
that.
not.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, this, like I told you guys before we started shooting, tonight is a matter of history, and Shadow Hounds will be a part of the annals of Rob's MetalWorks forever, bro. Yeah. This interview will live forever.
This ain't the last interview, by the way.
Oh, okay. I hope not. I hope not. I hope you're gonna tell me, nah, we got 10 new tracks in the can.
Yes, we do.
Oh, hopefully
Mike's
soon.
like,
Oh yeah.
No, we got 5, but we're doing it. We're
hey,
working on it.
Well, that's gonna lead me to my next question.
Yeah.
We got more shit.
This is my next question, and it totally relates. So, Out of Blood, and I don't think we've even shared this with the people out there, is a full-length record.
So when we were like, okay, so what do we got to do to put out a fucking record? Is it going to be pressed on vinyl? Are we going to put out some physical copies? You know what I mean? And I thought to myself, we all thought together, and I was like, okay, there's some older songs that we threw on there, but we threw them on the B side only because they're just older jams, right? It's more punk rock, but like I think the direction that we're going is a little bit more metal, a little bit more hardcore, a little more thrash, a little more crossover. You know what I mean? So that's like the first few tracks on Out for Blood, and I think that's the direction we're going. It's fucking going great.
But my question was, why release a full length? Why didn't you do like singles or a EP and stuff?
So I think a lot of bands have like they do that, right? They throw out a single, they throw out 2 songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's cool and all. I think it's fucking great. But I want to put out. This is our last run. Why?
Okay.
At 40, like, am I gonna just like
have
put
this
out some,
opportunity?
like,
Yeah.
Am I gonna
How
put out
long
a
am I
single
having-
here?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
want to
hear
put out
you.
a record, at least 1 or 2. And if we can't do it together, then fucking fuck it.
Well, I think that's the best explanation
Yeah.
that I've ever heard to that question. Like, Rob, you know, I only have a limited amount of time before I have to do this.
We're not getting any younger, and if
Yeah,
we
yeah,
could put out
yeah.
a record, I would
Yeah,
love
yeah.
to do that. You know,
Yeah.
I keep saying we would love to do that together.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Can I interject? I think, like, to be honest, as far as us in a collective, we're all of age. They want to say that, like, when you get a certain age, why do this?
Right.
Get up,
Right.
get a job, this and that. We all have jobs. We all have our careers, but our passion is music.
Yeah.
This is what makes us happy. This is what gets us to the next day. And we're like, let's get an album. Like, he involved me into this album later on into the Shadow Hounds camp, and like he was like, you know what, dude, I want to finish an album, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to help you.
Oh, yeah.
And I joined the band, and I think this is probably one of the best solid mixes that I've done. With these guys. These guys really kick ass, and as far as what they do, in their own rights, this is we were like, fuck it, dude, let's get it done, let's put it out.
I love it too because these songs, they average, I think, around 3 minutes. So they just like fucking punch you, they beat you up, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And then the next song comes up and it beats you up, and then they're gone. It's like so cool. Like it hits you right away, and then the song's done. Yeah, it's not this prolonged fucking thingy, which I'm accustomed to with old school thrash and stuff like that. But as a hardcore punk band, that's the motif. That's the mantra of what you do. And you guys do it well. So very cool. Remember, everybody out there, take a look at the new record. It's called Out for Blood. It's already out. Be sure to pick it up after you watch this interview. I also love about Shadow Hounds is that, you guys aren't one of those bands where like, oh, we're just going to play San Antonio. You guys go out regionally and do shows in Corpus, Austin, Houston, and you're out there, man. You're working it. That's great.
Yeah, no, so I think, we love, of course, we're all from, majority of us are from San Antonio. We love playing shows in San Antonio. A lot of our friends, a lot of the people that we look up to are from San Antonio.
Right.
So we, of course, want to play as many shows as we can in San Antonio, but we have been branching out a little bit. Like
Mike,
Austin,
it's not a bad thing to say. We need to get the fuck out of town.
Yeah, no, we've been branching out. Like Austin, there's a lot of love in Austin, a lot of love in Houston. We've yet to go to Dallas. I think we're going to start doing that here soon.
Oof.
If we can start doing a little bit more shows, like, say, a week long. I mean, we're all just regular dudes who have families, fucking full-time jobs.
Yep.
If we can do a little bit extended runs and head to the West Coast or the East Coast or the Midwest, like, we would love to fucking get on that. If it's right, if it's the right timing.
Cali, stand up. Let's go to Cali. Let's go to fucking Florida. Hey, Colorado needs Shadow Hounds.
Yeah. So I mean, no, we're
Stefan, don't just say that because you want to go smoke the weed in Colorado.
Fuck yeah, I'll smoke the weed.
No, okay. Great plan, and I'm glad that you guys had that initiative to go out. Don't forget about the Rio Grande Valley. Don't forget about the Rio Grande Valley, but I'd say go to the Rio Grande Valley first before Dallas. Fuck Dallas.
You know what?
Go down there.
It's funny you bring that up. Like, when I was younger and we would play shows in, like, McAllen or Harlingen, those fucking dudes... Listen,
crazy.
The whole scene out there.
It's crazy.
They don't get a lot of shows. So when you do book a show there's fucking 200 kids who want to come out and just fucking party and
Of course, because they don't get a lot of that out there.
Yeah, it's fucking rad.
And they're definitely not getting a lot of quality hardcore, fucking metallic hardcore.
Yeah, no. And
they're getting black metal, they're getting thrash, but they're not getting fucking y'all guys. Yeah.
And speaking of like Rio Grande Valley, we're like a plug for fucking Pantheon, who's coming in to those
week.
guys fucking rule. I saw them a few weeks back.
Black metal.
I'm sorry, it was a few months ago. They fucking rule.
Those guys are
and they're all
beasts.
from the valley. Like that's a great point. Like those kids come out and they show a lot of support for like bands and just like tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just want to get some shows, and I think it's fucking badass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can't wait to have those guys here.
Hell yeah.
If it wasn't for Berto,
Yeah,
the guy that we
dude.
know,
Nice dude.
I would think all those dudes were scary dudes. Like we talked about earlier, scary dudes. Okay, guys, I was, kind of telling you guys, hey, man, I couldn't get a band photo. And hopefully we'll get an official band photo soon. But too, like I only saw, I think more importantly is the video. The only video I've seen is the live video. You guys don't have any other videos for the record?
So that's the only video that's been put out, right? David Diaz, shout out David Diaz. He does a lot of our photography. He's a fucking rad photographer, and he decided one night he's just gonna start filming our set. And no, we haven't. That's it. Like that's our only live footage. Hopefully, we can do more in the future. As far as like a band photo goes, no, we haven't done it yet. We're
gonna take a couple tonight.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll take a couple tonight.
That'd be cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah, guys. I talk a lot with bands and really good bands, and like I told you guys earlier, you want people to take care of the back end shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you guys should be focusing on writing riffs and practicing and doing the music thingy. You don't need to be booking shows and doing scheduling photo sessions and all that shit. You should have other people doing that for you. But you'll get there, man. You'll get there. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
You'll get there soon enough. Just don't stop. Keep doing what you're doing. As we think about the future, are you guys have any new music? Are you writing any tracks right now? Do you guys always write? What?
Dude, so we've got some
Stefan's telling me 4 already.
We've got 4 that are ready to go, right?
Yeah.
And they're fucking. It's lower tuning. It's fucking badass.
Wow.
It's like it's gonna be if you were to.
You better
take,
send me some roughs.
No, I'm gonna send you some tracks, my
You
man.
better send me some roughs, because
It's
how can
fucking-
I talk about you?
I
But
said-
hold on, and I'll edit this out too. But guys, your latest record just came out in June.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what happens. You guys are already burnt out on all that shit, because even though it just came out in June, you guys have been playing those tracks for years, right? So you're like tired of them, and you're ready to move on to new shit. Okay, but for the public, it's still new.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't get all excited and say, "Oh, we got new music," and your record just dropped 2 months ago, right?
Good point.
Do not. The word is do not cannibalize your own efforts.
We had a set list for forever, right? And when we put out the record, we already had a set list, and then now the record's out, so there's a few songs on there that really fucking rip, and we haven't played them live.
Wow.
And I think that's what we're gonna start doing. Like, it's our new set list, more energy, more hardcore, more metal, in your face. Let's fucking slam dance and have a fucking party.
This
You know
is
what I
the
mean?
time. This is the time to really, because you guys know this is the lineup.
Yeah.
This is the real lineup.
Yeah. This is it.
Okay, so if this is the real lineup, then build it and build it and build it.
Fuck yeah.
Hone in what you're doing. Let me give you an example. There was this band that I like called King Bastard. They're the East Coast. King Bastard. They're like a psychedelic, doomy kind of thing, right? So they were here. I interviewed them. I videotaped them. The guy from the band fucking messaged me. He says, "Rob, can you send me the video files that you took of us at the show?" And I was like, "Oh, man, I don't usually do that, you know." He goes, "Well, we just want to watch it to see what we can do better on stage."
Yeah.
And I thought that was profound. I was like,
That's what I do every day. Every day I watch this band.
he didn't want those files just to post on his thing. He says, "We want to evaluate our performance."
What we can do better.
I thought that was wow, that's
Well,
cool.
it seems insulting if you were to, you know what I mean?
I'm like, wow. I'm like, yeah, he just wants to get better at what he's doing. Yeah, and I see nothing but great things for you guys.
Thank you.
Okay,
brother.
before we end out, I like to do this because I know each one of you guys are individual people, and so many people have come into play in your musical journey. So let's start with Hector, and I want Hector just give out shouts, love, thank yous to anybody in your life, and then we'll go this way.
Let me think about that.
What? Did we come back to you? You want us to go? Okay.
Give us a
Stefan, go first.
Stefan's going to go for
Thank
5
yous.
minutes.
No, I'm not going to go for 5 minutes. Actually, you know what, man? I just really appreciate all the bands that I've been a part of. You guys helped me out, and in your own rights, you were great, and you've helped me learn. Now I'm with Hounds, and these guys are fucking brilliant, and I just appreciate these guys. That's who I want to shout out, is these 3 guys in front of me. Sean, Mike, and Hector. These guys are fucking amazing guitar players, and probably some of the best guys I've ever been in, and to many more years of Hounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Cheers, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, well said.
Yeah, that was awesome. Hell yeah.
And you, Sean, here you go.
We're
Motherfucker.
wow. Oh my gosh.
Here he goes. Influences and love.
Come on,
No,
Sean.
influences in love. Oh my gosh.
Going back all the way to Alabama.
Jeez, Alabama, San Diego,
When I
like,
first met him, he was like, dude, I just came from Colorado.
jeez.
See what happens when I smoke weed?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Come on, Sean. We got all fucking night.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So, man, if I want to really reflect and, man.
okay.
So, all right.
We just want
So,
the
first of all,
surface.
I'm going to definitely give a big shout out to all my big homies and stuff. A part of La Escalera Records. It was a punk rock thing that happened on the West Coast. And it was a part of my younger years and cutting my teeth on, just playing live music and being a part of something that was really bigger than myself and amazing. I want to give a big shout out to a good friend of my friend, good friend JP. He's the owner of 31G Records out of San Diego. He's a bass player from the Locust, and
Oh hell yeah! The Locust is badass.
yeah,
Go ahead. Sorry.
amazing. Like, he was one of those guys that I first met when I was hanging out in San Diego. Like, I didn't even know he was like part of something big. He was just hanging out, and we're just talking music, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, like, you're a part of something really bigger and all that stuff. So, and definitely want to give a big shout out to my homies here in Shadow Hounds.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And
Great bunch of guys.
Jeez.
Are you ready?
Wow. Yeah, I've been drinking, dude.
Fuck yeah,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
good.
Oh my gosh. I love all you guys. Oh my god. Oh, I
moving
love you.
along,
All right.
son.
So we're moving along, and I love you.
At least no one's getting punched in the face.
No one's. If anyone's gonna punch you, I'm gonna punch myself in the dick. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. No, okay. So I'll
Okay,
say,
come on.
Listen, a lot of love to everybody in San Antonio. There's a huge, goddamn, you know it. There's a huge community in San Antonio as far as metal, punk rock, hardcore,
yeah.
and the promoters here. It's insane. They keep bringing something to San Antonio that is that got lost for a long time, and I think. As far as like Broken Board goes, Loy Smoke with Sell Your
Smoke,
Soul,
yep,
right?
yep,
and
yep,
fucking
yep.
And like Merchants of Metal, like Kyle
Yep.
from Black Jackal. By the way, Black Jackal's fucking record, like they fucking
So good.
ripped. Their last record is so it's like the Black and Speed, so good. Anyways, I'll move on. So the San Antonio has something that is representing right now. There's a new wave of a scene that's fucking just happening right now, and
great.
we're just glad to be a part of it. So
Good.
a lot of love to Nicole, my fiance, and like all the people who contributed to this record, and everybody else in San Antonio. Like, a lot of love. We're not in competition with anybody, Rob. We're all about building up people
sure.
and not creating division. You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
Like, we should be fucking building each other up and putting South Texas on the fucking map.
sure.
And I think that's where we're at right now.
For sure.
All right, so I probably have to like rub some balls and eat some crow at the same time. But first and foremost, my bandmates here, I'm kind of like the not so much a slave driver, but I'm always striving for us to sound better than like when we last got together.
And that's the thing, though. Like,
Bless
but
you.
that's the thing, though. Like, in the hardcore punk scene, your recordings are supposed to be a little rough.
Right.
Right.
We're not.
That's what I'm saying.
But I didn't want to do that with it. So I didn't want
That's
it to be
the
rough.
that's the style, though.
When we recorded this record, I was like, you know what, Rob? Like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take all our raw shit, right? We're gonna take it all raw. I want to clean it up. I want to make sure the fucking kick. That's my main focus, is the kick, right? I want that fucking.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
I'm just talking shit.
Sorry, Hector. Keep continuing.
Go ahead, Hector.
No, it's all right, man.
Hold on. 1 second.
Hold on.
1 second. Hey, first of all, when it comes to Hector, let me tell you something. Hector is our fucking moral compass of the band. You know what I mean? He is the one guy that's like gonna put his foot in our ass and be like, "Look, guys,
No bullshit.
yeah, no
No
bullshit.
bullshit.
We're
He's
gonna
like,
be
hey,
fucking legit."
Go home and practice and stop
He's
being
like,
bitches.
guys, you can't be doing coke off chicks' ass all fucking
Exactly.
night. Is that the moral compass he's telling you
Yeah,
about?
no, but no. In
think
a
I
way,
need a
it's
beer.
like, you know what? If we're gonna play music, we're gonna be legit
Right,
as
right,
shit. And
right.
we're gonna do it, and we're gonna convey something that's amazing and that is gonna grip the emotions of other people. That is gonna feel what we're saying. You know?
Right.
And, you know, it's awesome. Love you, Hector.
Thank you for that,
Thank you.
Sean.
Yeah, so like
It's not a eulogy, Sean.
Yeah, right. Shit.
Yeah.
like a big shout
We'll
out.
release that too
of
as
course,
a
to
fucking behind the scenes.
Go for it. Go ahead,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
Say
no,
it.
like a big shout out to, of course, Shadow Hounds. Everyone brings something to the table, and I push them because I really totally believe in them. And also the other groups I play with, like Confused with Aldo Barrio. That's my boy. I love you.
Oh, you're confused now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love Al.
Tell Alder Barrio I said hi. He doesn't talk to me anymore.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's mad at me.
No, no.
This sucks.
So
Okay. It's okay.
big shout out to Al, and of course Violent Practice. That's
Yeah, I love Violent Practice, bro.
everything has different
Music
dynamics.
beat, like-
Adrian, you fucking crazy bastard.
Yeah, you fucking.
I'm
curly-headed
afraid to
fuck.
party with Adrian.
Hey,
I'm afraid to party with him, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, the big thing about the reason I bring all three bands up is because me as a musician, being more of a syllable musician, meaning like I explained earlier, is I'm not much of a shredder, but I'm
You
more.
are a shredder. Shut the fuck up.
Well, like more like percussive rhythms,
Yeah.
confused and Violent Practice.
Yeah.
Here I get that, but it gives me like a much better chance to explore like the
Yeah.
solo parts. But then of course the people that come to our shows,
Yeah.
they really mean the world to us.
Yeah.
More than like
Yeah.
and also to Rob,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
great guy.
Thank you, Rob.
Rob.
Yeah.
Rob. Thanks. Listen. I'm gonna fucking say this right now.
Go for it.
I'm fucking 42 years old, man. Right?
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, and I had an older brother who was a metalhead, and I used to watch your fucking videos, PBS, that like Channel 10. That's what it was. It was Channel 10, right? And I would see your fucking videos, and I was like, oh, this is fucking rad, right? And I was just a little fucking kid. And here I am,
metal.
and I'm fucking interviewing. We're hanging out with you and partying. It's fucking badass.
Hey.
So, hey, listen, from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for having us.
Oh,
tonight,
man.
We really
yeah,
appreciate it.
man. I knew we were going to have a good time.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. I love Stefan and Mike. When I met you at the Danzig show the other day, I was like, man, this dude's got a lot of love.
Dude.
Yeah, if you're going to fucking hug me and fucking, hey, yeah, be all stoked about being on Rob's, and, that's all love, bro. That's all love. So, no, I appreciate it, and I keep doing Rob's because of bands like you guys, because I love hearing my local bands in San Antonio putting together and putting out great shit, dude. Like, I swear to God, if someone said, Rob, like, I have everything. Like, compare, like, what do you listen to compared regionally to nationally? I listen to more regional music. Like 70% of the time, I'm listening to local bands, and the other 30% of the time, national bands.
Yeah.
Mostly local bands is what I listen to, bro.
So do you?
I swear to God, that's the truth.
Do you find yourself like you end up in a show and you're like, oh my God, this is a fucking great band. Like,
Yeah.
I really want to fucking interview this band or whatever.
For sure. Or sometimes bands will send me stuff, and I don't get to listen to it right away. But when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. There was this dude. This happened like 2 weeks ago. There was this dude, an Asian dude from San Antonio. He said, Rob, check out our single. It's going to come out blah, blah, in October or whatever. And I didn't listen to it. And then he messaged me again. He says, Rob, did you listen to our single? I said, no. He goes, please listen to it. Check out the video. And I fucking finally listened. And then, like, I never responded to him, even though I listened to it. I never wrote him back. Yeah. He wrote me, says, Rob, it's going to drop October 26th, blah, blah, blah. If you need help with production costs, we can pay you whatever you need so that you can do an interview with us.
How does that sit with you? How does that sit with you?
I've had that happen many times. I can't even tell you how many times bands have wanted to pay to be on Rob's. And I say no. I said, no, that's not how it works, bro. It's just all about the music.
You have love.
No, it's not love, bro. It's like, this is the thing. If I put a band on Rob's because they paid me, then anybody can be on Rob's. And then the fucking rite of passage don't mean shit.
I think
if you're on Rob's, it's because Rob's is a fan. That's the thing, not because you paid $300.
Yeah, man. I think that's why I've followed you for the last 20 fucking years. Like, it's a sentiment to like say, hey, this is fucking Rob's MetalWorks. Like, this is who we are.
Bro, I got my living, I don't need your money. It's quality. It's integrity. Integrity.
Yeah.
Listen, shout out to you, bro. Hey, fuck this interview and shout out to you.
Hey, next time you come, bring me whiskey.
Hey!
And a fucking t-shirt.
No, I got a package for you, buddy.
Leave it at my front door because I might be busy. Guys, thank you so much. Had a great fucking time. You guys are the best. Stefan, my man. All this shit happened because of Stefan. You better fucking buy him a drink next time y'all are at the bar.
Thank you for having us.
Oh man, what a great time!
Hell yeah.
Remember everybody out there. What a great time tonight, man. We went off on some tangents. I don't know how much of the tangents you guys will see, but I'll take a look at it. And, that's what I love, because when I interview bands, it's not a Q&A. It's a fucking conversation about our scene, about your music, about our passions, about everything that we do, being part of the metal scene here in San Antonio. And it was my pleasure to have you guys here. So remember, everyone out there, the brand new record is called Out for Blood. 10 brutal, metallic, hardcore tracks for you. Go out there, download it right now after you watch this interview. Because you saw Shadow Hounds only on Rob's